Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss a video from testbook.com.
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू testbook.com। और जैसा कि आपको पता है कि हमारे बैंकिंग कॉन्क्लेव के थ्रू हम आपको मिला रहे हैं ऐसे सक्सेसफुल बैंकर से जिन्होंने ना सिर्फ एक सक्सेसफुल बैंकर बनने का अपना जो एम था उसे अचीव किया है, बट अब काफी एक्सपीरियंस के बाद वो हमें यहाँ पर गाइड करने आए हैं कि अगर आपका भी ऐसा कोई एम है तो वो कैसे आप पूरा कर सकते हैं, आपको कौन से डायरेक्शन को फॉलो करना है और आप इस एम की तरफ फोकस्ड कैसे रह सकते हैं। तो आज के जो हमारे गेस्ट है वो भी हमें इसी चीज में मदद करने आ रहे हैं और हमारे आज के गेस्ट है प्रणोय पाइन। सो वेलकम सर, वेलकम टू टेस्टबुक।
थैंक यू
जी, तो मैं उनका इंट्रोडक्शन आपको दे दूं कि प्रणोय अभी यूबीआई बैंक में मैनेजर है। इन्होंने आईबीपीएस पीओ का एग्जाम क्लियर किया था और ऑलमोस्ट अब इन्हें 4 साल का जो एक्सपीरियंस है बैंकिंग सेक्टर में वो हो चुका है। तो ये हमें बताएंगे कि इन्होंने अपने एग्जाम की तैयारी कैसे की थी और आफ्टर ज्वाइनिंग इनकी लाइफ में क्या क्या चेंजेस आया है। So Pranoy, we will be asking you few questions जिससे हमारे जो भी बैंकिंग एस्पिरेंट्स है उनको आपकी लाइफ से इंस्पायर होने का और मोटिवेट होने में मदद मिले।
Okay, first of all, thank you, Kavya, for such a gracious introduction. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm audible now.
Yeah, so I think there is network issue.
I know the network issue. Yeah.
So technical glitch के लिए sorry. So again we can start because we have not started yet. So Pranay, I will be asking few questions जिससे हमारे aspirants को भी काफी मदद मिलेगी to know about your life and get inspired. तो सबसे पहले तो मेरा सवाल आपके लिए यही रहेगा कि आप थोड़ा सा जो characteristics develop होता है after you start preparing for any banking exams, फिर आपका final selection होता है और एक बार सिलेक्शन के बाद जो आपके कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स डेवलप होते हैं थ्रू आउट बाय बीइंग अ बैंकर, वो क्या क्या है?
Yeah. So, like the first of all thing I would have like to tell you कि as a banker ना हर दिन हम at least 20, 25, 30 people से मिलते हैं, okay? And they are all of different people who come with different demands, with different needs from different parts of the area. So first of all, जो सबसे important चीज हमें सीखने को मिलती है is how to really deal with people. With these kind of people, कोई लोन के लिए आता है, किसी को बस पासबुक प्रिंट करानी है, किसी को फोन नंबर चेंज करना है, and they have different levels of urgency. Okay, कभी मैनेजर के केबिन में घुस जाते हैं कि सर मेरा काम नहीं हो रहा है, कभी सर मुझे आज के आज लोन चाहिए. So the very important thing that I have learned in these 4 years is how to deal with these people efficiently and how to tell them कि सर आपका काम तो हो जाएगा, लेकिन at different times we face different crises, just like the one we had right now, okay?
Yeah.
And we can't do anything about it. So इनको समझाना कि सर आपका काम तो हो जाएगा. So basically managing these people, this is the very important thing that I've learned through the communication skills. Apart from that, we always work on deadlines. Quarters होते हैं, monthly ends होते हैं, there is this year end. So really learning how to work on these deadlines and how to manage the stress in these month ends, quarter ends, year ends, where stress develop होती है. So this is something that I really learned in these 4 years of banking. Apart from that, as a banker, when I was preparing for my banking, so मेरे को दो चीज पता थी कि बैंक ज्वाइन करनी है तो it's a respectable job, your social status gets improved and you get money. So when I joined bank, ये दोनों चीजें तो मुझे मिली ही. Apart from that, जो मुझे मिली is the varied experiences. मैंने अभी तक 3 ब्रांचेस में काम किया है. The different experiences with different kind of people and the satisfaction that we get by serving these people, लोगों के help करके. By basically we bankers are the people who do financial inclusion in a country.
Yeah.
Right? We educate the people financially. Okay. Just like the teachers do it on they educate people, we are also educating them on a different level.
Yeah.
So the satisfaction we get is something that I've really gained in these 4 years. So
Yeah.
this journey of 4 years is apart from that, the personality traits, as I just said, communication skills, learning to deal with stress, and building good relations with people, with clients, with staff. There are the other important assets that I've gained in these
Yeah,
2 years.
absolutely. I think communication is the key for this
It
sector,
is
and you have to be good in your communications. Plus, whatever points you want to put out, will be clear
correct.
होने चाहिए, because you are dealing with common people. People, they are not knowing the terminologies, or
Correct.
they are not.
They're layman.
Yeah, they are very layman. So you
Yeah.
have to explain them in their language. That is very important, I think.
Exactly. That's all.
Absolutely. So this is something which I think develops with time. अगर आपके पास starting में ना भी हो, तो आप जब उस field में जाते हैं, तो I guess आप जरूर से ये develop कर लेते हैं.
Exactly. In the field really helps.
Yeah.
Because initial 6 months, I also remember not being able to communicate people. But now, when I see the journey throughout in these 4 years, I understand how much I have grown as a person from that level.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your journey now. Like, you were a student back then. I think you have done your BTech, and then after that you prepared for your banking examinations, and then you cleared IBPS PO, and now you are where you are. So basically, वो preparation की journey आपकी कैसी रही है? Were there ups and downs, and how were you tackling them?
Okay, you missed one point there. After I cleared my BTech, I worked for an IT firm for
Yeah.
around 2 years. So my preparation dealt with my everyday consisted of two different personalities. One, I'm working for an IT firm. Second, I'm doing my preparations. So obviously it was not easy. You are well aware of the timings of the IT firms and the stress that we work upon.
Yeah.
So वो सब होने के बाद I was then placed in Kolkata. So I used to come back from work at 8:39. आके fresh होके खाना खाके, and then I used to start with the working. Now, whatever 2, 3, 4 hours I used to get, that was my everyday preparation. And apart from that, weekends where I used to study. That was my main thrust areas for preparation. मैंने as such coaching नहीं लिया, because मेरे को time ही नहीं मिलता था. If मैं weekends पे coaching ले लेता, तो शायद ही मैं कुछ पढ़ पाता for self-study. So it was like my way of preparing things. So I didn't take coaching. मैंने खुद self-study किया. Yes, but I used to do a lot of mock tests, and coincidentally, actually used to prepare from Testbook. मैंने Testbook के mock series पे ही enroll किया था, and I used to prepare for that. It really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So my journey basically started off in 2015. I passed BTech. 2000 and 2015 itself, I started working for the IT firm. 2016, early 2016, I started preparing for my banking. When I started around Feb 2016, then SBI clerk, SBI PO, I prepared for it. SBI clerk I did well. PO was not that good. I missed a very small margin. So after that, IBPS PO came in October 2016. So basically from February to October, those 6-7 months were my main months of preparation.
Okay.
So in those 6-7 months, I prepared myself through self-studies, through the various mock tests, analyzing myself where do I stand. And finally, October में prelims हुए, फिर November में mains and interview in Feb around, I guess, Feb 2017. And on April, the results were declared and I got selected there.
Absolutely. So coming back to that point, which I wanted to ask, like you mentioned, you were working in an IT firm and then you were preparing simultaneously. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे हमारे भी aspirants हैं जो कि काम भी कर रहे होंगे, and maybe they want to get a government job, because government job comes with all perks and cons. Absolutely. And there is always a craze for it, and we can never deny that.
Correct.
तो वैसे में काफी hurdles भी आपको आए होंगे, because when you're working somewhere, वहाँ का work pressure अलग होता है. Then you said you were traveling also. So ऐसे कौन-कौन से और hurdles if you faced that time, and how did you overcome them?
See, the very first thing, while we start preparing for any exam, is there is a mental block first of all. Will I be able to give time to both? will I be able to or am I fit for this job that I am trying to do, और क्या मैं उतना टाइम दे पाऊंगा. So और स्टडी भी करूंगा तो कैसे करूंगा, सेल्फ स्टडी करूं, कोचिंग लूं, कैसे करूं. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल these are these mental blocks, the hurdles that we're telling about. First of all, there are these mental hurdles. So first ये hurdles आते हैं, इनको क्लियर करनी रहती है कि I should be clear of the perspective कि हाँ मुझे इतना टाइम जॉब के लिए देना है, मुझे इतना टाइम प्रिपरेशन के लिए देना है. So once that hurdle is cleared, then obviously comes the time of managing. कि टाइम कैसे मैनेज करनी है, क्योंकि see, I am preparing for something, but I'm always not sure कि I'm gonna get selected there. Okay. So there is always a plan A, plan B. Okay.
Yeah.
And TVF aspirant में तो संदीप भैया ने बोल दिया कि plan B is for losers, but I don't really feel that.
Yeah.
There is always a requirement of plan B. And plan B for me that time was the firm that I was working in. And plan A was obviously to get into a banking job. तो एक तो वो always दिमाग में रहता है कि should I really prepare for this the job I was in, or should I go for the banking? So it took me actually quite a lot of time to actually prepare myself mentally that I will go for banking.
Yeah.
Once I have gone there, अभी time management का issue. तो how did I used to manage the time and things like that? जब मैं travel करता था, I used to give a bit of time studying there. जो जनरल नॉलेज के क्वेश्चंस थे, इंग्लिश के क्वेश्चंस थे, एवरी डे रीड 5 वर्ड्स, सिनोनिम्स, एंटोनिम्स, जनरल नॉलेज, जनरल अवेयरनेस, फाइनेंशियल अवेयरनेस, ये चीजों में ना मैं ऑन द गो करता था ताकि आई सेव अ बिट ऑफ टाइम एंड आई यूज्ड टू ब्रिंग इट टू अ डेली प्रैक्टिस. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, जब मैं घर वापस जा रहा हूं फ्रॉम वर्क, आई स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि आज जाके कौन सी चीज पढ़नी है. ओके, सो आई यूज्ड टू यूटिलाइज द टाइम इन सच वे. Obviously IT 9 hours, 10 hours you give there, then you take the transportation time, so you're basically spending 11 and a half hours outside home. अगर 6 घंटा आप दिन का भी निकाल लो तो it's 18 hours gone. You just have 6 hours left. उसमें आपको खाना है, you have to do a very different kind of works. So basically net time for studying वही 3.5-4 घंटे मिलता है. So वो hurdles तो थे, रात को जाग के पढ़ना, वो चीजें hurdles तो always थे, daily basis पे थे. कभी आके सो जाते थे पढ़ते पढ़ते, लेकिन but next day again wake up with the hope कि चलो today I will finish the part that I left over yesterday.
Yeah.
So these hurdles are always there, and I guess many aspirants are there who are I guess in my age I have seen 60-70 percent are there who are doing a job and then preparing for bank PO.
Yeah.
So for them it's quite a tough journey, but I still feel that we have to constantly motivate ourselves, and they will surely be able to get the job.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody is working hard, obviously results to है वो positive आएंगे in the long run. So Pranay, I wanted to ask you one thing more, that you prepared for bank PO exam, like you mentioned, you also gave SBI exam and then IBPS one. So was banking exam always in your mind कि ऐसा था कि government sector में जाना है? It can be through SSC or banking or anything as such.
Honestly speaking, as I said, I did job, so I knew my limitations. मुझे पता था कि मैं full fledged ना पढ़ाई नहीं कर पाऊंगा हर एक चीजों में. See, like the banking and insurance sector exams, they have a different type of syllabus. They have a different pattern. If you go to SSC, if you go for UPSC, the patterns are different.
Absolutely.
I knew I wouldn't be able to give focus on all of those. So I chose banking as a sector there. Yes, government job doing was an important thing, but I had a slight interest towards banking. So I chose for the banking industry, knowing my limitations. But if there are people who are freshers who are able to dedicate more time, I would obviously say that obviously go for all options that you have. But if you feel that you have limitations, then move for a certain sector, like SSC कर लो, अब banking कर लो, या insurance sector में, LIC में जा लो, लेकिन just instead of like trying and catch all the balls, better
go for
have one.
Yeah, absolutely, because वो होता है कि focus रहे एक चीज पे, because more or less pattern is different for every exam.
Exactly.
अगर आपका सब्जेक्ट सेम भी हो तो शायद जो क्वांट या रीजनिंग एसएससी में आती है वो बैंकिंग में नहीं आती
है. Exactly. And one more important thing, बैंक में भी आप सर्टेन पैटर्न से, एटलीस्ट हमारे ऐसे तो हमने देखा था 2016 से, the patterns were changing hugely.
Yeah.
मतलब 16 to 17, 17 to 18, if you see the patterns, they were changing hugely. So if you have studied something on a certain pattern, you go to the exam, you find a different pattern out there.
Yeah, I think, and that was the period when the sectional timing and all
Got introduced.
present. Yeah. So absolutely, that is the thing. You have to adapt to the changing things, because if you are an
Correct.
aspirant, हो सकता है इस साल ना हो के next साल आपको फिर से appear होना पड़े. So you have to
Hmm.
learn to adapt things, I would say.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So, Pranay, like you already mentioned about your work schedule and your study schedule, but that was again in my question list. So I will be asking you again to
Okay.
more light to it. Like schedule कैसा था आपका? Like work और studies को मिलाकर अगर एक normal day का schedule पूछे तो किस तरह का था?
Normal day का schedule आप पूछो तो morning wake up, ठीक है, going to office as I said, मुझे around जाने में 1 घंटे लगते थे, ठीक है, bus and different buses हैं, तो 1 घंटा मैं usually उस पे invest करता था कि like if I get seats somewhere in the bus, sit there, go through the GKs, ठीक है, कल के क्या क्या change, whatever GKs है, world GK में, क्योंकि normally एक ना मैं चीजें देखता हूँ, in aspirants they feel कि जब प्रीलिम्स के प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं तो बस प्रीलिम्स के प्रिपरेशन कर ले, ठीक है, प्रीलिम्स में क्या होता है, जीके होता है नहीं, ठीक है, एंड देन उसके बाद सोचते हैं कि अगर प्रीलिम्स क्वालिफाई कर ओनली देन विल स्टार्ट द मेंस प्रिपरेशन, बट द टाइम पीरियड बिटवीन प्रीलिम्स रिजल्ट एंड मेंस इज हार्डली 20 to 25 days, और 20-25 दिन में यू कैन नॉट लर्न जीके, नॉर कैन यू लर्न इंग्लिश, ये चीजें आपको डेली बेसिस पे इफ यू प्रैक्टिस ओनली देन यू विल बी एबल टू गेट दैट नॉलेज. तो आई फील इवन व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर प्रीलिम्स, go for the financial awareness or the GK sections that you are actually having in mains. So I used to do that. Apart from that, English words. Actually, my textbook को बहुत follow करता था उस time पे. Okay. And every day वो snippets आते थे. There 5 synonyms, 5 antonyms. Okay. Yeah, a short comprehension. They used to give a 5 minutes timer, read the comprehension, give some answers. So on the go, I used to like small mock tests, small these things. Okay, that really helped me. And office में पहुंच के भी at least I would give 5-10 minutes कि हाँ एक कोई newspaper खोल के at least I go through the headlines. Okay, I get the awareness. तो वो चीजें रहती थी. And so again going to the office. Once I go to the office, you switch to a completely different role of a IT associate. So वहाँ अलग कल्चर है, वहाँ अलग एनवायरनमेंट है. So I used to like reach office at around 11. Then the day activities is super low. उधर time नहीं मिलता था to really think about even thinking. So after that, 9 hours. It gets finished by around 8. And 8 बजे again take a bus, come back home. Again 1 hour journey. So 1 hour again I used to do these things. Mostly, you know, that 1 hour I used to those 1 hour I used to like prepare कि आज घर में जाके क्या पढ़ना है, what are the topics I need to cover, or like yesterday कुछ topics छूट गया है तो क्या पढ़ लूँ. Apart from that, sometimes you know videos देख ले, कुछ motivation videos देख ले, hearing videos of some proven bankers who have you know reached high levels and how their journey was, you know, to motivate myself to you know find something that if they had done something I am not doing it, so maybe that would help in my preparation. तो ये चीजें मैं करता रहता था. And then coming back home at 9, fresh होके dinner करके, that time from 9 to 1:32 was my study time. That 4 hours 5 hours. That time mobile off करके दोस्त लोग पबजी खेलते थे, कोई वीडियो कॉल करते थे, कोई रात भर चैट करते थे. So I had to basically sacrifice all those things. Okay, and anyhow that was worth it. So I sacrificed those things for but हाँ वो 5 घंटे में that is the basically study time that I actually had, and that helped me through week. And after that weekends में होता था, तो weekends में I used to get the full time, and उसमें मैं tried to do as much, you know. Weekend actually क्या 5 घंटे में I used to study, mock test पर मैं तो नहीं दे पाती. So I used to select the time of this weekend कि mock test दे दूँ, थोड़ा analyze कर लूँ कि which are the subjects that I'm lagging, preparing for the next week again. So that was mostly my day and how my weeks and weekends went.
Yeah, so you had your daily and weekly plan sorted. And I can get one thing which is very important, which you mentioned, and it is important to follow. कि आप अपना टाइम टेबल जो है वो पहले से दिमाग में सेट कर ले. What are you going to study? If you have
Yeah.
planned that thing, it will save time also. At the same time, you will be focused कि आज मुझे घर जाकर अगर puzzles पढ़ने हैं तो मैं puzzles पे ही focus करूंगा, ना कि मैं
Correct.
English के किसी चीज को देख रहा हूँ. So
Correct.
that is really important, and I think we all should, we all, as in the people who are preparing, should always follow this.
One other thing, like the routines I said here are the weekly routines. So basically, weekly routines so is like weekly way of analyzing it. Better when you start the preparation, start with at least a 2-3 months plan in hand.
Yeah.
3 महीनों में मुझे क्या-क्या पढ़ना है. And after the 3 months are over, you start with the revision part. उस
Yeah.
revision में मुझे क्या पढ़ना है. So I should have planned better. हाँ, ऐसा होता है कि मैंने plan कर लिया कि in 1 month I have to finish these sections of quant and हुआ नहीं.
Huh, that happens.
So basically, so that keeps on happening all the time. So at that point, you need to again reassess your plan. So that's why I had those weekly plans. I reassess them and I fit in those things that I left behind into the future schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, the mock test also. Those mock test quizzes really help you to analyze your preparation level. For example, you have thought you have completed this particular topic very nicely, but when you take those mock tests, you will understand where you are lacking. So that will really help to work on your weak points. तो जैसा कि प्रणय ने बताया कि वीकली मॉक टेस्ट तो बिल्कुल ही देना चाहिए, क्योंकि उससे आपको हेल्प होगा एंड यू विल एनालाइज योर प्रिपरेशन लेवल एंड यू कैन गेट प्रिपेयर्ड लाइकवाइज. सो प्रणय, ऐसे बहुत सारे बच्चे जो हमें देख रहे होंगे, अभी आगे चल के देखेंगे इस वीडियो को, एक चीज हमेशा एक बच्चे की मन में रहती है, व्हाट इफ आई फेल, लाइक फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, क्या हो अगर एग्जाम नहीं क्रैक होगा मेरा फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में. मोस्टली आई हैव आल्सो टॉक टू फ्यू एस्पिरेंट्स, तो दे गेट डिसहार्टेंड और शायद उनका जो कॉन्फिडेंस होता है वो अपने पे लूज होना लगता है कहीं ना कहीं. तो लाइक यू ऑल्सो मेंशन कि आपने एसबीआई का एग्जाम पहले दिया, बहुत ही कम मार्जिन से वो नहीं क्वालिफाई हुआ, एंड देन यू केम बैक स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड यू क्वालिफाइड दिस एग्जाम. सो लाइक व्हाट वाज देयर इन योर माइंड दैट टाइम?
Okay. So as I said, I started preparations in February. Okay. And SBI PO I think was in July. Okay. So basically March, April, May, June, July, 4 months. And I wasn't that much prepared for it. Okay. So prelims, I guess 0.5 से छोटा था मेरा. Okay. So at that point, any person, can have two perspectives. The first one is, यार इतना पढ़ लिया मैंने, इतना sacrifice कर लिया, इतना effort डाल दिया, फिर बस 0.5 से छोड़ गया. ये एक हो सकता है. दूसरा ये है कि अच्छा मैंने इतना तो पढ़ लिया कि I went such close to it. Next time पढ़ के जरूर निकाल लूंगा. So basically, the aspirants need to have this second perspective.
Yeah.
I've given this much effort, or thoda sa effort I will take, I will surely cross the line. So this is very important. Banking exam mein no one gets it in first try. This is, I understand. First try छोड़ दीजिए. There are people who have spent an entire year. I've seen my friends who have spent 2-3 years, still have not got. But in the 4th year, they got. Like my classmate, I got in 2017. My classmate joined in 2019. Okay, he joined Canara Bank, but he waited on it. He kept on trying. He kept on motivating themselves. So aspirants who are failing, they just need to understand that they need to continue their efforts. Obviously, there are lagging somewhere. Something or the else is obviously missing. That's the reason they are failing. So they have to reanalyze their points. That what are the places what they're missing? Like in my case in SBIP, I understood that my speed was slow.
Okay.
And I corrected on it. Instead of, like I said about the mock test weekly ones, instead of giving 1 weekly mock test, I started giving 2 in a week. I started analyzing the topics where I was taking more time. The Testbook has a very good analyzing features. After you give the test, they show you the time that you spent on each and every question, on each and every topic.
Right.
So I had to actually jot it down and write it down somewhere. These are the topics I am not able to do it in the proper time, and as a result of which other topics are being affected. So take out those topics. I start learning on those topics and going back to the basics. Reading those formulas, those shortcuts that we have from the comments, and then again trying to give the mock test, and this time see that if there has actually been a change from last time. So whoever are failing, people say failure is failure of success. It is actually, you have to, but the thing is that you can't be bogged down. You have to literally try and understand where you're failing and pick up yourself, motivate yourself again, and start for the preparation again. As I did, and after SBFQ, IB plus few, I did.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that is how it is. You have to bounce back to again with the journey of starting preparing again for that particular goal you have assigned to yourself. And getting demotivated is easier, but bouncing back is difficult, and you have to come back strong. तभी आपके जो गोल्स हैं वो अचीव हो पाते. तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम में प्रणय क्या कोई शॉर्टकट दिमाग में आता था कि मैं ये शॉर्टकट अपना लूं तो शायद चीजें सही हो जाएंगी? ऐसा कुछ होता है? बिकॉज इट सेज ना कि देयर इज नो शॉर्टकट टू सक्सेस एंड यू हैव टू वर्क हार्ड. तो ऐसा कुछ लगता था?
शॉर्टकट्स एक तरह के शॉर्टकट्स होते हैं बैंकिंग प्रिपरेशंस में. दैट इज द शॉर्टकट दैट यू गेट इन योर क्वांट प्रिपरेशंस. आप क्वांट्स की जो प्रिपरेशन करते हो ना, तो उसमें you get a lot of formulas.
Yeah.
That is the only shortcut that I have known of. And I think that is the only shortcut that you can have, at least for preparation of banking jobs.
Yeah.
As such, the shortcuts so handy. Hard work is the key. In fact, I would not say hard work, smart work is the key.
Yeah.
We have to diligently rationalize our time into the topics that we need to do. Okay, as I said, English, GK and all. These are not things that you have 1 दिन 8 घंटे पढ़ लो तो you will master it. These are things that you need to do daily basis. But quants and reasoning topics or data interpretation topics, these are things that will come with practice. अब दिन में 8 घंटे पढ़ लोगे तो obviously there will be an improvement. So we need to diligently rationalize our time into which one and when to do and which one to follow at which point of time.
Right.
So there aren't any shortcuts. Smart work is the key to success.
Yeah, absolutely. Smart work is the key. Like Pranay said, कि smart बन के काम करना होगा. Hard work तो equally important है, but if you are smart enough, then you can obviously do it in a better way, and it will feel easier. Though it won't be easy, but it will feel like it's easy. So, Pranay, बैंकिंग सेक्टर में आप 4 साल से हैं बिल्कुल, और fully dedicatedly as a successful banker काम कर रहे हैं. So, what do you think are the traits a banker develops while they are in the job? या ऐसी भी कुछ traits होंगी जो पहले से inherit करके आनी चाहिए when you are getting into this particular sector?
Okay. Traits, I would say, the first trait that I mentioned in the very first question that you asked is the communication skills.
Yeah.
So, obviously, कोई पूरा develop करके तो आता नहीं. But yes, you need to have a good communication skills with people. Okay. So that is the very first thing that you need to understand a banker, and you also get developed over the years as a banker. The second thing I would say, you have to be a really quick learner. Like when you get selected as a bank PO, no one basically asks you, "Please, sir, आपको कौन सी location चाहिए?" They have a location for you in mind, they post you there. Once you get posted in that branch, you are not really asked, "कि sir कौन सा काम करना है आपको?" No. They have a job in mind for you. Come there, you sit there, and they're told, "कि this is the job that you have to do." You have no options, at least in the beginning, of course. So you need to be a quick learner into doing whatever thing you're given to do.
Yeah.
Basically, as a PO, what they actually want is there are different roles, there are different profiles in a branch. They want you to have a bit of knowledge of all the roles, so that later in your career, when you are given a different role, a specialized role, you at least have that basic knowledge of it. Okay. So you have to be a really quick learner when you are entering a bank. Apart from that, I think you need to be really flexible with locations thing. I see some people, they are really homesick. कि घर से दूर नहीं जाना है, घर से दूर नहीं रह पाऊंगा. So I really feel I'm not trying to demotivate people who are homesick, but I really see if you are homesick, it will be a bit difficult when you join banks. क्योंकि you are posted in different areas. आपको शायद ही home posting ना मिले for like first 10 years of your life. So you have to really deal with it. These skills. Apart from that, And think analytical skills. This is very important in a banking job. The awareness, because each and every day you are dealing with risk. You're dealing with the people's money. It's not your money that you're working with. You're dealing with a lots of money of this public, okay? And so you have a huge responsibility on their part to deal with it properly, efficiently. So this awareness that if some kind of frauds happen, you need to be really aware about it. And especially while like I am working in the loan department, so this analysis skills about whom to give the loan and whom to not, judging a person on his activities or judging a person from his words, ये चीज बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. एंड ये चीज ओवर टाइम आती है, ये कोई सिखा नहीं सकता. नो वन कैन टीच यू. सब अपने अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस बता सकते हैं कि आप ऐसे करो, आप ऐसे करो, लेकिन व्हेन यू सिट दैट ऑन दैट चेयर, you have to make your own. You have to learn from your own experiences. You have to learn from your own things. So these are really things that are hugely important as a banker. Apart from that, और दो तीन चीजें होती हैं ये. और एक तो क्या अभी you see internet banking, with the advent of internet banking, UPI, mobile banking, there are a lot of technical things that are happening. Okay, and so you need to be really adverse in all of things. कि ये टेक्निकल चीजें मेरे को जाननी है. कस्टमर walks in, so you should be able to help him out with that. I think that is something that some of the bankers lack, and I really feel that it should be there in all those people who are joining banks at a very nascent stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can sum up few of the points which you mentioned. Like you should be good in your communications. That is the key. And you should be flexible enough कि आपको जिस भी तरह का काम मिले, you should be ready to get that, and you should be able to deliver. Then about the homesickness that you mentioned, that you should be comfortable with the location part, because obviously you can be posted anywhere, and I think it is not your choice. It is just told to you that you have to go to such and such.
Exactly.
And other thing is, like you mentioned, is you have to be good in analytics, and you have to be good in judging people or judging the situation, because with experience you will have to do that, because nobody will be there to help you at each and every point of time.
Correct.
So these are the few things like Pranay mentioned. अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि आगे चल के बैंकिंग में करियर बनाना है, एग्जाम के लिए तो प्रिपेयर करिए ही, साथ ही साथ इस तरीके की चीजों के लिए भी अपने आप को मेंटली प्रिपेयर करके रखिए, क्योंकि सिर्फ एग्जाम क्रैक करके वहां क्वालिफाई करके जाना एक बात होती है, एंड देन यू हैव टू स्टे देयर, यू हैव टू सर्वाइव देयर, सो दैट इज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Exactly.
सो प्रणय, बेस्ड ऑन दिस करियर प्रोग्रेशन की बात अगर करें, तो जैसे कि आपने बताया कि आगे चल के किसी भी तरह के डिपार्टमेंट में काम करना पड़ सकता है, कोई भी काम आपको करना पड़ सकता है, इसलिए इनिशियल डेज में आपको हर तरह के काम को सिखाने की कोशिश की जाती है बाय द बैंक. So how is the career progression like if somebody joins a bank for you?
Okay. Basically, PO is probationary officer. Okay. So as I said, सब सिखाया जाता है in the initial 6 months, 12 months. Basically, I would like to give a slight insight into how the banking profiles are. Basically, there is this generalized profile, okay, which deals with anything and everything regarding with the general banking. General banking includes from account opening to dealing with customer, changing the phone numbers, updates, anything and everything regarding the like whenever customer enters into a branch, gives you a query, you have to resolve it. That's general banking. Okay. Apart from that, there are specialized departments such as credit department. You deal with loans, and you only deal with loans there. Okay. Apart from that, there is this forex department, which is in some branches. You won't get in all branches. So mainly, when you go to the branch, there is this two departments. One is the generalized, one is the credit department. So your career progression will be departments in which department you are in presently. So initially you're taught with this generalized banking, because that involves a slightly less amount of risk than the credit department. Okay. Ultimately, people have a knack of going towards the credit department, because as you go higher up the ladder, as you take promotions, it is this credit which is actually, this is the quality that every senior will try to find in you. Okay. So like I always have this knack of credit in the loan department. I went in 3 branches. In the 2 branches I was there, I went and told up to my branch manager कि सर मुझे trade में काम करना है. So anyhow, there was not a position available there. I went to the third branch. I also said that he told that he will look into it. In the initial 5, 6, 7 months, I didn't get a chance. Once the trade officer got transferred, sought me as an option. I started working there in the trade department as a trade officer, and I've been working since then for the last 1.5 years. So basically, career progression ऐसे ही रहता है कि you initially join as a PO, you work in different departments, if possible, trade departments. I would anyone who is watching this, I would like to say, try and push yourself and tell your BM, you tell your seniors, sir, I want to work in this department. Because as you go higher up the ladder, it is this trade department, it is this quality of yours of able to analyzing things or able to process loans that pulls you higher up. Okay. So this is something that is really required, and as we progress up in the career. And another most important thing is the leadership skills. As you go higher, branch manager, you become, when you are scale 1, you might also become a branch manager in a scale 1. But as you go higher, you become branch manager of a bigger branch. So there, the management, able to the leadership skills, those really come into account. So career progression is mostly with that, working in different profiles and then getting elevated to bigger and branches where you take up bigger responsibilities, higher responsibilities.
Yeah. So, and with all of these promotions and things comes bigger responsibilities. And with responsibilities, it becomes difficult to strike a balance between your personal and professional life. और कहा जाता है कि you are successful only if you are able to strike that balance, because both are equally important. So, like, how are you facing that, and how are you able to manage both of them?
Honestly speaking, it's very difficult. At least when I was initially posted as a credit officer there, my branch was quite behind in terms of targets. When we ended up in March 2021, my branch had done 110% of its targets. Okay, so that was something that I did. Yes, but at the end of the March quarter, I understand that the balance had shifted. It was like 70%, 80% of work and 20% towards life. Okay. So yes, it is very important to strike this balance, and especially as we go even higher, even if we try to strike a balance, we aren't able to. So there are 2-3 things that I really felt that can be done or should be done. In fact, one is to keep a track of the hours that we are spending in the branch. Like there are people I've seen. See, work is something कि ऐसा नहीं है कि आज मैं 8 घंटे के 12 घंटे काम कर लूँ, तो the work will get finished. It will never. We need to prioritize things कि आज 8 घंटे में what are the works that I have to do, and then leave the rest for tomorrow, and then come tomorrow and finish up those work for tomorrow. So first of all, I have to understand that I should go by a strict 8 hours or 9 hours schedule. कि मुझे I have just these 9 hours and I need to finish whatever work I have this 9 hours. So that is the very first important requirement of striking a balance between work and life. मुझसे भी नहीं होता है कभी-कभार. You can try to do as much as possible. Second thing, as I said again, smart work. To try and do things efficiently and brilliantly so that the work is also done, it's done in proper time, and it's done in the best possible, in the best interest of the customer and me and my branch manager, so that the things can be done for the good of all of them. So ये 2-3 चीजें हैं that I try to follow personally in trying to strike a balance between work. And yes, the very most important thing that I feel, whatever be the work, however it may be, keeping and taking care of the health, like having proper lunch hours, taking breaks in between, these are very much important.
Yeah.
And without these, a person won't be able to perform well. मतलब health का ध्यान नहीं लिया तो he might do well 1 month, 2 months. So it will automatically impact his performance.
Absolutely.
So yes, work-life balance is very important, and every time we should be cautious. Yes, we need to strike a balance between them, but the balance keeps on tilting. It's our responsibility, and if it's not only our responsibility, also our seniors' responsibility to see that the work-life balance of the people who are working under him, the juniors, they are in the proper shape. So
Absolutely.
that is important.
Yeah. So basically, how you prioritize your work and how you keep yourself mentally and physically healthy as well is very important,
Right.
and that will help you to achieve a kind of a balance between both the lives. Yeah, very
Right.
true. So, Pranay, to end this session, I would like to ask you to give some piece of advice to the aspirants who are watching us right now, or maybe watching us later, and who are preparing for banking exams. तो आपकी तरफ से उनके लिए क्या advice रहेगी?
Okay. Uh, I think few things I told before also,
Yeah.
that at every stage when you are preparing for the job, preparing for the exams, basically try and analyze the things. Where am I standing in the level of exams? I'm just I'm just studying, रोज आ रहा हूँ, मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ, लेकिन I need to ultimately analyze कि where am I standing through these mock tests and all. First of all, at every stage, where am I going with this preparation? Okay, and how much of it am I actually prepared? Okay, that is the most important thing. Second thing, in between, take breaks, take video, look at some videos, look at the motivation videos, try and see what the people who have actually succeeded in getting these jobs have been doing, and try and inculcate the good qualities that they have, and so try and inculcate in your life so that you get a better and efficiently you clear your exams. Third thing, I would say, developing the personality as a whole. Preparations, financial knowledge, GK, these you can get, but as a whole, you need to prepare personally, on a personal level, so that when I get the job, I should be able to deal with the people. The personality traits that I said, the quick learner or being flexible with positions, these things I should be the aspirant should be mentally preparing on their level. And one last thing I would like to say is, these aspirants, they are always, they are very highly motivated. They stay motivated for the prelims, the mains, the exam. But what I see is lacking in some of these aspirants is that once they get the job, they don't see any more targets in front of them. Right? पहले prelims होता है तो उसके लिए prepare करते हैं, mains होता है, interview होता है, keep preparing on them. Once they start doing the job, they don't really see a target, and that motivation level
Goes down.
So I would like to say to all of the aspirants, the struggle part ends when you get the job, but then another story starts from that day one when you are getting a job as a PO. The day one that you people are joining the bank is the day when you need to keep learning the things, when you need to upgrading yourself. The career, you need to always understand that this is another journey that you have started, and you need to excel in this journey also, just like you had done while you were preparing for the exams. So, constant learning, nurturing yourself, understanding, and constantly upgrading is the key for any banker.
Yeah.
So, these are the tips I would like to say.
Absolutely. So, like our title also says, there is no substitute to hard work, and that hard work should continue even after your selection, because it is rightly said that once you join, you are not that much motivated, or you don't have set targets because you are into the system. But likewise, धीरे धीरे आप अपने ही motivation को खोते चले जाएंगे. You have to be equally enthusiastic even after you join the banking sector, so that you can reach next level there. क्योंकि वहाँ पे भी career growth and everything का काफी ज़्यादा prospect रहता है, and everybody wants to grow as an individual. Absolutely. So, Pranay, thanks for giving us your precious time, and I believe and I'm very sure कि आपकी जो life की story है, the journey and your tips, whatever you mentioned right here, will be very helpful to the future aspirants, and they can focus on their goal as well.
Thank you for having me. It was really nice coming back to textbook basically. I really remember those days of my preparation in 2016, 4 years down the line. It's really good to come here and share some of my experiences. So thank
Yeah.
you for having me here.
Yeah, and even for us, it's a pleasure because somebody who has prepared by Testbook and they were using Testbook back at that time, and now
Yeah.
they are so successful in their career. It makes us so happy and proud. So,
Thanks.
so बैंकिंग कॉन्क्लेव की ये वीडियो जो थी वो तो आज की थी. कल भी ऐसे ही 2-3 वीडियोस हैं, तो आप हमारे टेक्स्टबुक के बैंकिंग चैनल पे आके जरूर देखें. और प्रणय ने जो भी आपके साथ शेयर किया है उसको अपने लाइफ में भी इनकलकेट करने की कोशिश करिए, ताकि आप भी अपने गोल पे जल्द से जल्द पहुंच के अचीव कर पाए और एक सक्सेसफुल बैंकर बनने की जर्नी स्टार्ट कर पाए. So thank you, Pranay. Thanks for watching, and thanks for watching all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.